Welcome to the 21st century. Have a nice day. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man.
Now playing at a theater near you.
Why dream in black and white when you can get colors to own from RentTown? Get the bedroom you've always dreamed of in exciting colors like mahogany red or uptown black. Have sweet dreams in dusty rose or jade green. Call RentTown and get the bedroom of your dreams at prices that won't keep you up at night. Take your pick of RentTown's colors to own from just $59.95 a month. Colors to own, only from RentTown, because nobody wants to dream in black and white.
Everyone ready?
Hey, is that a Polaroid camera, Mr. Hinkle?
It sure is, Billy. It's my new Polaroid Captiva.
Looks cool. Can I have it?
No. Everyone smile and say Bunsen burner.
Cheese!
One more.
Where's the picture? I thought it was a Polaroid camera.
Yeah.
One more.
Then where's the picture?
Introducing new Polaroid Captiva. It's sleek, it's stylish. Its pocket-sized pictures stay in a special compartment till you take them out, so you're free to shoot and shoot.
Is this some kind of joke?
One more.
The new Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in.
One more.
Till you take them out.
Live from Edmonton, this is ITV News at 10 for Thursday, October 14th. Tonight's top story, what's in store for the Edmonton Oilers? We'll have an exclusive interview with team owner Peter Pocklington. Also, the city's budget is out. It calls for some service cuts, but no new taxes. Plus, violence on Brazil's beaches is scaring away tourists. And in sports, the Oilers and their road trip in Los Angeles.
Now, ITV News at 10.
Good evening. Peter Pocklington is renewing threats to take his hockey team and hit the road.
The Oilers owner wants to seek out new sites for his team after talks to keep the Oilers in our city fell apart. Tonight, Edmonton Northlands is remaining optimistic, but Pocklington is not holding out hope. Paul Bazetta is following the story and joins us now live from the newsroom. Paul, why did negotiations break down?
Well, Gord, right now we don't know for sure, but the stumbling block may have been the Coliseum itself. Northlands has apparently offered the Coliseum to Mr. Pocklington like they have in the past, but that apparently isn't enough.
No comment.
With the midnight deadline just a bad memory, Peter Pocklington left an urgent meeting with Mayor Reimer this morning, feeling he may have to pack his Oilers and leave.
I guess rather than say good or bad, I'm optimistic that something can be worked out and will be worked out somewhere.
Not in Edmonton, though.
I didn't say that.
Are you starting to shop the team around to other cities?
Well, it's not a matter of shopping. It's a matter of looking to see where the most beneficial site for the Oilers might be, whether it be in Edmonton or somewhere else.
Pocklington says Northlands isn't serious about settling the lease dispute.
There are no deadlines anymore. There was two deadlines. One was May 13th. Another one was August 6th, which we gave an extension to. And unfortunately, it wasn't completed on that date.
The future of pro hockey in Edmonton is in jeopardy again. Pocklington says he's shopping around for a new city, a new building, and new fans.
I think Mr. Pocklington is a very astute businessman, and I don't think that he's ever stopped scouting around.
Northlands boss Jerry Ewan hoped a deal could be reached by today, but he remains optimistic.
Northlands wants to make a deal, and I believe Mr. Pocklington wants to make a deal. But, of course, both of us are looking after our respective best interests.
In Pocklington's case, gaining control of the Coliseum is crucial, as is parking, advertising, and concession revenue. Northlands has agreed to it, but there are stumbling blocks, including the multi-million-dollar price tag to upgrade the rink. Mayor Reimer maintains any stumbling block can be resolved.
I have a feeling that they can be all resolved. You just have to take each one at a time and work your way through, and there are options there.
And what are those options? Mayor Reimer wouldn't say, but she's not ruling out coming up with some other sort of way to raise money other than from taxpayers, perhaps some voluntary donation scheme. Gordon?
Well, Paul, at least they're still talking here. Has there been another deadline set?
The only deadline right now, Gord, seems to be who comes up with the deal the quickest. If the city and Northlands don't come together and put together some sort of arrangement that will see the team stay here in Edmonton, perhaps some other city might. And as Peter indicated in the story, he is right now shopping around, and he is serious about perhaps moving the team.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Paul Bazetta reporting live.
Well, an accident late tonight has put one woman in hospital. The crash happened just over 60 minutes ago. Two cars collided in the eastbound lane. The victim was taken to Royal Alex Hospital, where she is undergoing emergency treatment. Police are investigating the accident.
The 1994 city budget was released today, and as you can expect, there's some good news along with some bad.
Now, property taxes will be held at 0%, but there is a price for holding the line. There are increased user fees planned, including a first-time ever charge to park your car in Horilac Park.
And you can expect cuts in some of the services you receive from the city. As Pat KRAUSKOPF reports, we won't know how deep those cuts will go until the province tells us how much less we'll have to work with.
The budget means fewer bus routes next year. More than 16,000 DATS trips cut off, even though demand is on the rise. And garbage and blue box pickup only every second week during the winter.
And I think the public will be pleased that for the second year in a row we're able to bring in a zero mill rate increase.
The upside is a property tax freeze, a freeze council hopes to hold for 3 more years. There are no new property taxes in store for homeowners, but you will have to shell out about 83 cents more a month in sewer rates and an extra $2 a month in power rates, for a total of $2.83 a month more. The budget recommends a $12 a year library user fee, a $2 charge to park your car at Horilac Park, an extra 75 cents for 9 holes of golf at city-run courses, and fees to use sports fields. The exact amounts haven't been set. Municipal Affairs Minister Steve West has hinted grants to cities like Edmonton will be cut 20% or $11 million next year.
That will have a big impact in terms of either service levels or in terms of attempting to find alternative revenue sources, user fees and the like.
It's a problem we face every year we budget as a municipality because we depend on provincial revenues, yet it's always hard to know where you're at until they make the actual announcements, and sometimes that's not until April the following year.
The public will be able to add its 2 cents to the budget process later this month during public hearings. A final budget document will be finished in December. Pat KRAUSKOPF, ITV News at 10.
Public hearings are set for October 28th and 29th. Meanwhile, the province will review its municipal grant funding next month. And now, as Pat mentioned, one of the areas the city plans to cut to try to hold the line on property taxes is transit service. Hours will be reduced on many routes, although the city hasn't said yet which routes will be hit. But the usual target of transit service cuts is service late at night and on weekends. And the transit passengers we talked to tonight aren't very impressed with today's announcement.
That's a shame. Just the bus system that before was a lot better than what it is now. I say every hour we have to wait an hour for a bus to come by.
They should have it 24 hours. Why? Because of the fact that I'm always out late and sometimes I get stranded and I have to force my opinions onto people if I could stay over and stuff, and it's not good.
I do most of my activities at night. I'm a nocturnal kind of creature, so I think that they cut back on the bus service, then it'll ruin me because buses are my only source of transportation.
There is some consolation for transit riders in the budget proposal. The city is promising that it will not increase transit fares before 1995.
You're watching ITV News at 10 with Gordon Steinke, Jacqueline Clark, and Paul Bizzetta on Night Watch.
It's still 6 weeks before November 23rd, the government's deadline for healthcare workers to agree to wage rollbacks.
And today, 9 healthcare unions met to discuss the issue. They're willing to sit down and talk to the government, but not about the rollbacks. They want to talk about the government's plans for the future. And those plans led to confrontation this morning. Bonnie Fox reports.
We want West! We want West!
They're unionized employees upset with privatization of liquor stores. They're upset with Ralph Klein.
And not only is there going to be...
And they're upset with Health Minister Shirley McClellan. This protest could have gotten out of hand. These union leaders say health care cuts already have.
I think it's devastating.
Here are the numbers according to the union. $900 million is targeted to come out of health over 4 years. The government says 73% of health costs are labor-related. So union math says $657 million could be cut in labor alone. And that means cutting nearly 19,000 full-time jobs.
I think those numbers are conjecture, and I'm not challenging the numbers, but I think it would be
more appropriate that I sat down with them and heard how the calculation and on what basis it was done.
We cannot believe that any responsible government would set in motion a plan to reduce a major department by 25%, close to $1 billion in 3 years, without having a comprehensive plan.
The healthcare unions say they want the Tories to come clean with Albertans and tell them what their plan for healthcare really is. But the government admits there isn't one, not yet anyway. And Shirley McClellan says she is encouraged that Labour is at least willing to come to the table and help formulate one. Bonnie Fox, ITV News at 10.
And tonight, all 8 of the province's healthcare unions called on Premier Klein to hold a referendum on the government's plans for healthcare reform. The unions claim that voters should have the opportunity to approve or reject massive changes to Alberta's healthcare system.
Guards at the Edmonton Remand Center wanted to get a message out to management, so they locked up inmates for 2 hours last night during an unauthorized lockdown. Now, normally in the evening, inmates have freedom to watch TV or gather in a commons area. An unidentified guard says the action was necessary. He says the prison is understaffed and workers are in danger. More than 1,500 police officers from across the country gathered in Calgary today to attend the funeral of Calgary Police Constable Richard Sonnenberg. In all, close to 3,000 people, including almost 200 Edmonton police officers, attended the emotional funeral service. The 27-year-old officer was struck and killed last Friday by a hit-and-run driver in a stolen car. Sonnenberg's sister called for stronger laws to protect police officers.
We, the people, in a united voice, are becoming a powerful force. And we have the right to challenge and demand political leaders and legislators make the commitment to our officers and arm them with the laws and a system that would serve as a legitimate deterrent, including the Young Offenders Act.
A 17-year-old youth is charged with criminal negligence causing death. Sonnenberg will be buried Saturday in his hometown of Coaldale, east of Lethbridge.
An Edmonton man wanted for the murder of his wife has been captured. Toronto police arrested 34-year-old Daryl Clotton after a tipster recognized the suspect from a picture in a Toronto paper. Angela Clotton's body was found last month in an apartment on our city's west end. He'll likely be returned to Edmonton next week.
Well, Bill, are we going to see some snow when we wake up tomorrow morning?
I don't think so. Hey. If we do, it'll be minuscule amounts. I said that last night, you know.
Yeah.
But this is ridiculous. We didn't get anything at all. But no, earlier today, the places that were getting any precipitation were getting rain, and it didn't amount to very much. And we think that's the way it's going to be.
Things aren't quite as bad as we thought they would be anyway.
Oh, no, not by a long shot, no.
We're ahead of the game, Bill.
You bet your life we are, Jacqueline. Thank you. And good evening, everyone. People are asking about the weather. Of course, they always do. And I can say this, when you wake up in the morning and you look around, you're going to see, chances are you're going to see some fog. Chances are the temperature will nip below zero a little bit, and the temperature is going to climb a little bit above zero as well. But let me tell you this, that in spite of all the bad weather we're looking forward to, Friday itself is going to be a fine day. Stick around, I'll tell you why.
All right, thank you, Bill. And still ahead tonight on ITV News, Canadian Mounties are called back from their assignment in Haiti.
And a little later tonight, automakers are placing a big emphasis on safety in their 1994 models. We'll have the details.
You're watching ITV News at 10. Coming up, Perry Solkowski Sports and Bill Matheson with weather.
Preston Manning toured through Alberta today, and he had to deflect accusations of racism. That's part of our comprehensive Election 93 coverage coming up.
3 incredible one-day sales in a row. Incredible one-day savings on everything. Starts Friday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at the Brick. Everything's on sale. Here's 3 incredible choices, 1 incredible price. These contemporary tables, all 3 pieces, $99. This AM/FM portable cassette with CD, only $99. And if you buy the matching item in this leather chair, is only $99. It's an incredible one-day sale. Times 3. Extended hours for extended savings. 3 incredible one-day sales. Starts Friday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at the Brick.
Ever wonder why politicians only seem to listen to you at election time? We have to change the political system so the people are heard all the time. So MPs can vote for their constituents instead of towing the party line, and so Canadians can fire MPs who aren't doing their job. Right now, the politicians are on the inside and the rest of Canadians are locked out. Only Reform has a plan to change the system. Reform. Now you have a choice.
I've closed my eyes and I slip away. More than a feeling, more than a feeling.
Right now, enjoy the great taste of $4.95 Pasta Tuesdays. Mix and match your choice of delicious pastas and tempting sauces for only $4.95, and only at Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza. Come in, sit down, enjoy.
The Right Honorable Mrs. Stravinsky and Mr. Stravinsky. Lord and Lady Cornwall of Tavistock. Fred, who saved big money on his new Dodge truck from Pioneer Chrysler Jeep.
Trucks cost less at Pioneer Chrysler Jeep Wetaskiwin.
Canada savings bonds go on sale Monday, but if you've been thinking about buying, you might want to reconsider after you hear the interest rate.
It was set today at 4.25%. That's down from 6% last year and is the lowest return on CSB since 1961.
More details tonight on Woolworth's decision to downsize. Yesterday, the company announced major store closures across North America. In Edmonton, specialty stores such as Friedel and Willow Ridge could be closed or revamped. The cuts represent a 9% reduction of the company's workforce.
Canadian Airlines has cleared another hurdle in its bid to break away from Air Canada's Gemini reservation system. Canadian wants to break the alliance so it can merge with American Airlines. Today, the Supreme Court of Canada turned down a bid by Air Canada to appeal a Gemini decision. Now, that clears the way for Canadian to go before the Federal Competition Tribunal to formally request that the Gemini partnership be disbanded. The hearing is set for November 15th.
The provincial government has sold off another 5% of its interest in the Syncrude project. The deal with Murphy Oil Company of Calgary is worth $150 million. The money will be returned to the Heritage Fund. The province still holds an 11% interest in the Syncrude project and is entertaining offers to sell that off as well.
Labatt's is being targeted by anti-drinking and driving groups. The brewery has been asked to withdraw or restrict sales of its new high-alcohol beer called Maximum Ice. Two Ontario-based lobby groups are warning consumers that the Maximum beer contains 42% more alcohol than regular beer, and they're worried that drinkers won't realize when they're near the legal limit.
You're watching ITV News at 10.
Environmentalists are stunned and angry at the sentences given Clayoquot Sound protesters today. Demonstrators gathered outside the Victoria Courthouse as the sentences were handed down. 44 protesters got jail terms of 45 days and fines up to $3,000 for blocking logging roads at Clayoquot Sound. Appeals are expected.
In international news, the Mounties have arrived back in Canada after being pulled out of Haiti early today. 51 officers were in Port-au-Prince on a UN mission to help restore civil order. They were withdrawn when it was clear Haiti's military was not going to allow them to properly monitor a newly constituted police force. As Julie Rosenberg reports, Canada's Blue Berets are optimistic the recall will only be temporary.
51 RCMP officers arrived back in Ottawa only 1 week after leaving for Haiti. It was supposed to be a 6-month mission. The Canadians acting as part of a UN advance team to help with the October 30th return to power of ousted President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. The commissioner of the UN police, RCMP Superintendent Jacques Lemay, says his men left because Haiti's military and police were obstructing their mission.
Over the past several weeks, there have been incidents in Port-au-Prince and throughout Haiti where, unfortunately, the military and the police have been associated with the attachés.
Officials insist the violent disorder that prevented the docking of a UN troop ship on Tuesday didn't affect the police mission. At no time were Canadians under threat.
I think the bottom line is that the conditions of the Governor's Island agreement were not met. And obviously action had to be taken, and that action is being taken now by our government, as you see here today.
But many say they're disappointed at the abrupt recall to Canada, sad to leave the many Haitians who welcomed their presence.
They were waving at us, and people, when we left, they say, you know, we need you guys, you have to come back. So, you know, and you feel welcome, you know, they are warmful people, and they want you back, you know, we give them hope.
The RCMP say the withdrawal is only temporary.
The 51 officers will resume their participation in the police operation once they get the full cooperation of the Haitian military.
Once we get the green light, we're going back.
Julie Rosenberg, ISN, Ottawa.
Well, just minutes after the RCMP officers landed in Ottawa from Haiti, there was word gunmen had assassinated Haiti's justice minister. 2 of his bodyguards and a 4th person were also killed.
And in other international news, a shooting at a California health club has left at least 4 people dead. A gunman walked into a fitness center in a San Diego suburb and opened fire. The 19-year-old gunman is among the dead. No reason yet for the shooting. A U.S. POW has been freed by a Somali warlord after 11 days in captivity. Helicopter pilot Michael Durant was carried by stretcher to waiting Red Cross officials. Another round of soccer violence in Europe. Nearly 200 English soccer fans were arrested during battles with police on the streets of Amsterdam overnight.
What can we expect for the weekend?
Nothing. Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely
no
nothing.
Rain, no
a little bit. I shouldn't say that. A little bit of cloud, but we're not expecting any precipitation over the weekend. And tomorrow is going to be a sunny day, despite the fact that we're going to get all this muck tonight. Yeah.
Am I asking for too much?
No, I don't think so. No, not at all. Not at all. Thank you, Jacqueline. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to the weather map. Today we had one of those crazy weather maps because weather, almost by definition, means change. Right? It's never the same 2 days in a row. All right? Wrong, because yesterday the low pressure area was here, and I said, you know, that low pressure area is going to be there tomorrow, and that'll bring down all the cold air, and we're going to be a very cold area right here in Alberta. But it didn't move at all. It brought up all the nice warm air like that, generating a warm front which comes across there. And you can see where this warm front is because they only got up to +2 in Saskatoon, and in Regina they got up to 10, in Medicine Hat they got up to 14, and Lethbridge, at 16 was the warmest spot in Canada. Right, well, tied also with Penticton, but, you know, that's not fair because they're on the coast and the balmy breezes and all that. But anyway, that low-pressure area has been sitting there all day. It would not move. The cold front from it comes about like that, and consequently, it didn't come through the province at all. All we got was a little bit of rain here and there, nothing happening. And as that low-pressure area goes along here in its leisurely way, then the cold front will come down, and it's going to be about there tomorrow. And all the temperatures you see here, up in the mid-teens, for heaven's sake, are going to go. They're going to go down. Everybody's going to get colder tomorrow. And with the passage of that cold front, there's going to be rain. Now, I say that for 2 reasons. The cold front is there on the surface. Now, right on top of that, there is what we had all summer long, these blasted things, the upper trough. Upper trough, that is what wrecked our whole summer because we got these things all the time. The upper trough, ladies and gentlemen, is just an area of cold air aloft. So if there's any lifting of the atmosphere, like when the sun comes up, if there's any lifting, it hits that cold air all the time, and that's what generates thunderstorms, generates a kind of cloud that has precipitation in it, and all that kind of stuff. So this thing is going to go through, then this thing is going to go through. That's why we say, first of all, we'll get rain, then we'll get snow, then we'll get fog in the morning because this high-pressure area is coming down. There it is. It's not very well defined right now, but it's there, and it's going to be moving into our area tonight. And when it does that, what it's going to do is drive away all the clouds, drive away all the cares, and prepare us for a nice Friday. That high-pressure area is going to come down and take it there. But because it is an Arctic high-pressure area, the temperatures within it are very cool indeed. As a matter of fact, I should have pointed out there that Yellowknife only got up to -1 today. Okay, there's the situation. Let's see how this checks out on the satellite weather map. Okay, let's take a look right now. There you are. There you are. You see that area right up into there? It looks almost insignificant. No, that is an area of high pressure. And all we got down here is all that cloud. You see, it's not very white. It's not white at all. It's sort of dirty, you know. And anyway, that's because we have a low pressure area here somewhere. And that's a warm front across there. And the cold front proceeds this way. And there you have it. Now, if we take a look at Alberta and get a closer look on these things, you'll see here. There's all that muck that we're talking about, and there we are right there, but here is what is going to be our salvation for tomorrow. Okay, the ITV City Cam shows us all this, And while we're looking at the ITV City Can, remember this, no matter how bad the weather looks, with the rain and the snow and all that kind of stuff and the fog in the morning, it's going to be a good day when that Arctic high-pressure area moves in here. All these systems are very, very weak. So let's take a look now at the 4-day forecast. As we say, rain tonight, an overnight low of -1, fog in the morning, and bouncing up to about +7. And then as the week moves along, you can see it's getting better all the time. So that's that.
Well, getting better and better are the key words here, Bill.
You bet.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hurry, for 0% sale ends Monday night, only at City Port on St. Albert Trail.
And hey, the 649 jackpot is $10 million.
It features Peter Bergman, Jack from ITV's The Young and the Restless. He'll be on stage at Northlands Agricom along with other Y&R stars Saturday, October 16th at noon. Purchase tickets at the door or in advance at Eaton Center Customer Service. The 1993 was
at 10.
Well, it's certainly going to take a little bit of imagination to watch a few of the new movies coming out of Hollywood.
Now I guarantee.
Animals are now communicating with more people than just Dr. Dolittle. Producers are unleashing a whole new pack of talking animals. There's Ensign Darwin on board NBC's Sequest DSV. Films featuring animals fluent in English include Hocus Pocus.
Ooh, I hate it when that happens.
Homeward Bound.
Cats rule and dogs drool. You happy?
And next month, look who's talking now.
I hate this haircut. Who were you expecting, Grace Kelly?
And in the 1960s, Mr. Ed.
Wilbur, we've never had a scandal in our family.
But not all animal tales are successful. In 1982, NBC introduced Mr. Smith, a series about a talking orangutan. The ratings battle has always been guerrilla warfare, and a primate didn't make it in prime time. Still, there's no denying the enduring appeal of animals to both older and younger viewers. After all, most cartoons are animals, and people will love animals, if not each other. For CNN Entertainment News, this is Jill Brooke.
Can't go wrong there. But you know what they always say?
What do they always say?
They always say you should never follow an animal story. So let's just toss it over to Sports Night and see what you guys have coming up.
Is that what they say? Is that the old showbiz?